Have you ever thought about moving to San Mateo County but aren't sure if it's the right move? Over the next few minutes, you're going to meet some people who once considered moving here and chose to make the move, and you're going to hear what they love about the area and what they don't and what they might change. What is your name?
Andy Grotto.
And Andy, what do you love about living in San Mateo County and kind of what brought you here?
Well, work brought us here. I'm an academic, and I love living in San Mateo because it's very family friendly, great parks, easy to navigate, and just a lovely community.
And where did you live before San Mateo County, and then kind of what brought you here initially?
Well, we lived in Belmont for a couple years before we moved to San Mateo. Before that, we were in Washington, D.C.
Okay. If you could wave a magic wand, anything that you'd want to see done differently or that's kind of annoying to you, what would that be?
Well, I like to see more affordable housing. I think it's important for the community to make this great place more accessible. I'd also, if I really have a magic wand, traffic, even with traffic being not as bad as it was pre-COVID, it still can be epic at times.
Yeah. What is your name?
Hi there, I'm Wong.
And what do you love about living in San Mateo County?
So many things. So before here, I lived all around the country, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, and San Jose, before moving to the peninsula. And you can't beat the weather, you can't beat the access to nature with the water and the mountains so close by. And also just the diversity of culture, of people, of food. I challenge anyone to find a place anywhere in the country where you can get so much diversity in such a small town feel all together.
And talk to me a little about the food scene that you mentioned, like what makes it really special around here?
Sure. You can never get bored. There's nothing that you need to repeat, and I think that's one of the best things, not only about Burlingame, but about the peninsula in general. And I love how much diversity there is in terms of the richness of authentic food culture, and would love to see it continue to grow. It'd be great if one day there's the same reputation of like the San Diego taqueria vibe or the Los Angeles Koreatown culture, but it's growing, and we not only get the benefit of restaurants from San Francisco coming down here, but also a lot more immigrants and people coming in and just building up authentically all around the peninsula. So it's awesome.
Anything that you change or that just kind of bugs you about living here?
Everyone's going to complain about traffic, but that's, I think, a given with any sort of place, especially if it's somewhere where people want to live. But it's a pretty fantastic place, and I think after living here, it's hard to find anywhere else in the world that can hold a candle to it, if you can afford it. Let's be real.
Awesome. What is your name?
Hey, I'm Russ Taga.
And what do you love about living in San Mateo County?
San Mateo County, there's many things that I love, specifically about Burlingame, the community. I think it's very, very supportive of kids. That's been a really great thing for my family. And personally, I really like all the outdoor things. I like access to the ocean. I like being able to bike and get access to the hills and nature. And I feel like there's a little bit of everything here. The other thing that I actually really enjoy just lifestyle-wise is just there are many independent businesses. So even though it's a little bit different than living in the city, I think that there are some nice elements and good energy, a lot of things to get behind.
So before, where were you? You were living in San Francisco before you moved down here?
Yes, I lived in San Francisco for about 20 years.
And what kind of brought you down to San Mateo County from San Francisco?
Family. My wife grew up in this area. Her family all lives around this area, and it's been great spending more time with them. But there's been a lot of things that we've liked about it beyond that. Certainly, like some of the reasons that I listed. Weather's certainly better too.
If you could wave a magic wand and say there's something that you'd like to change about San Mateo County, what would you say?
I think just living in the suburbs, sometimes it can be a little sleepier sometimes. That's not necessarily a bad thing for everybody, but was like a little bit of a change to be made. Because we live close to the airport, we do hear like little bit of plane traffic going back and forth. But other than that, like it's honestly been really great.
What is your name?
I'm Belinda.
And what brought you to San Mateo County? Where were you before this?
Yeah, so before this, I was living in Oakland, so I was going to school at Berkeley, and once I finished that PhD program, I was like, let's change my life along with that new phase and kind of close that chapter, and so I just wanted to move across the bay. I grew up in San Jose, was living in Daly City for a while, so I'm really familiar with this area, and I don't know, it just made sense.
And now that you've been here for a little while, like what are some things that you love about living on the San Francisco Peninsula?
So I, for one, just love the community. Like, I walk my dog every day around. I feel totally safe. I feel, like, I don't know, the streets are clean. And there's always something to do in terms of going out to dinner or grabbing a glass of wine somewhere. I feel like, it's my speed.
If there's something that you could change or that kind of bothers you about living in the peninsula, maybe nothing, I don't know, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I just said, there's always something to do, but like compared to Oakland, like the food scene could be more diverse. I miss that a lot. So I think some more kind of like gastropubs, I don't know, something like that. And then I know, I still kind of go visit people on that side of the bay, so I don't know, I noticed that getting places takes longer.
What is your name?
Roger Selsback.
And what do you love about kind of living in San Mateo County, and where do you live now?
I live in San Carlos now, and I love the fact that everything's close by. Restaurants, entertainment, things for the kids to do, lots of action, lots of activity.
And tell me a little bit more about that in terms of everything being close by. Like, what do you kind of love about that? Because you've lived here for, you said, a very long time.
I've lived in Burlingame for over 30 years and recently moved to San Carlos. And both cities are absolutely fantastic. But I moved away from the hills, closer to downtown now, so I'm within 3 blocks of almost 100 restaurants, the banks, post office, library, everything is very convenient. Very friendly people, great community.
And can you talk a little bit about like maybe something that you wish could be done a little bit differently in San Mateo County, or something that you don't like, or something that you might find annoying even?
Traffic.
Tell me a little about the traffic.
I'm not sure what you could do about it. It seems like the roads are more and more impacted with cars.
Are you seeing that just on the freeways, side streets? Like, how does that affect you?
It's like everywhere. Freeway, side streets, what have you. Whenever you go out, I seem to spend a lot more time at stop signs. But that's why I'm on the train today.
What is your name?
I'm Marcy Yamaguchi Hughes, and I've lived in San Mateo on and off since I was 2.5, raised here.
And Marcy, what do you love about the peninsula and having grown up in San Mateo and then kind of living here and then buying a couple houses as an adult?
Yes, so I'll be honest, growing up here, you never think that you'll move back, right? And the first house that we looked at many, many years ago was in San Mateo, and we just were close to family. We just love the community. It's incredibly diverse. Yes, all nationalities, all different heritages. We love the public school system. It is a top school system, right, in the area. And we just feel really lucky to be in a place like this.
And then if there's anything that you could change about San Mateo or the peninsula, thoughts on that?
So one has to work really hard to live here, it feels like, right? It's affordability is definitely a challenge, I think, for many. You get what you pay for, though, right? You're just minutes away from the ocean and just a few hours away from skiing in the snow. In terms of if there was anything that we could fix as a parent of 2 boys, childcare, right, is really hard, especially with return to work happening for so many of the folks in the area. So yes, if we could push the magic button to solve childcare, that would be amazing.
Love that. And Marcy, talk about like fun things to do. What do you and your family love to do on the weekends or in your free time?
So when the kids were little, we'd go to the beach all the time, Half Moon Bay. It's amazing. And of course, if you're a seafood lover, right? All the crab that you could possibly want. We love going skiing in the winter time, but on the weekends, my gosh, you've got so many opportunities. Eating, the restaurants, right? So go into the city or right here in Burlingame. My husband jokes that, of course, so half of us are Asian, half is of English heritage, and of course, thank goodness he loves Asian food. San Mateo is like the haven for ramen shops, right? So yes, we love ramen, sushi, going out on the weekends, and helping our children, our boys, explore more than just pasta and steak. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, no, I just, if you can, check out San Mateo, check out Burlingame, right, and the surrounding areas, I think you will absolutely fall in love. And of course, Raziel is the top person. He helped us get our dream home, our forever home. So we're forever grateful.
Thanks, Marcy. What is your name?
Ricardo.
And Ricardo, tell us, what do you love about living in Burlingame or San Mateo County?
A lot of things. Mary Beth, my wife, and I walk a lot, and we walk around. We've got tennis courts, we've got pool, we've got trees, and we got families, and she's got a lot of history here. So her grandfather was at the post office around the corner, so there's a lot of familiarity.
And what are some other things that you love? I know you're a big outdoorsman.
Yeah, so nearby Coyote Point's been redone. They're constantly redoing something. I was just walking on the streets yesterday, and I said to Mary Beth, wow, they widened the streets to make it more of a feel. And I don't know if I've been through another downtown in the Bay Area that has that. So it's a draw. In addition to adding new restaurants and adding a lot of other activities and upgrading all the parks, which has been a lot of fun, including our new community center. That's really cool.
And what's something that you'd like that should be done differently if you could make a change, or something that's just annoying for you about San Mateo County?
San Mateo County. Well, I think we've been joking since we do walk a lot. I think one of the things, even with the widened streets, and I have a bicycle, but the electric ones end up on the streets a lot, and we end up and my wife doesn't hear, so sometimes they come up behind her, and it's quite startling. So we're like enforcing the ordinance to say none of the motorized things, because someone get hurt is some of the things. But I think otherwise, it's just care for what we have and respect. We don't have as much graffiti as other cities and what have you. So I think most folks in there, but that would probably be one thing that we're constantly aware of.
Cool. Anything else you want to add, Ricardo?
Nope. So thanks for the weather in Burlingame. And enjoy all the pies.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
What is your name?
Joe Pisano.
What do you love about the peninsula?
There's so many things I love about the peninsula. One, I enjoy being outdoors, and the peninsula, not only do we have world-class everything at our fingertips, I mean, anything that would bring an adventurer to a place to really get the most of it, the Bay Area Peninsula has that. It's absolutely extraordinary. I personally love the cycling.
Can you talk a little bit about like the people in San Mateo County?
You have the opportunity to encounter all walks of life, all different beliefs, philosophies. It's just a fantastic experience. I love that people seem to be very welcoming. Of course, there's always the folks who would prefer their own space. That's everywhere you go. But from what I have experienced in my decades of living here, is people want to get to know you. People want to find out who you are and just want to almost welcome you in their circle. So your circle can expand pretty quickly without you even realizing it, and it's a beautiful thing.
If there was something that you could say San Mateo County that's annoying about the area that you'd like to change, or that could be different, any thoughts there?
I would say the housing can be challenging. It really can be very challenging for most. A lot of folks who, like, if you're a barista and you need to have a job, and the job market can be difficult if you don't have a certain level of education. You're probably not living in Burlingame to work in Burlingame. So that can be a very difficult thing.
Anything else that you'd like to add?
Raziel Unger is the man. Like, I love this guy.
What is your name?
Hi, I'm Emma McCullough, and I live on the peninsula.
Cool. And Emma, what do you love about living in San Mateo County, and also where do you live?
I live in Woodside, I lived in San Mateo, and I've lived in Burlingame as well, so we love it. We love the weather, we love all the things that there is to do. Obviously there's the countryside nearby. In particular, we used to live in the city, so we love the culture of the city. There's so much to do in the city, go to the theatre, but we love that it's still accessible. So Burlingame or San Mateo, you just jump on the freeway and you can be there in 20-25 minutes.
And what brought you originally to San Mateo County? Because I'm assuming you're not from here.
I'm not, but I lived in the East Bay for a while, and I just love the peninsula just because there's so many little towns, cute towns you can go to, so wherever you live, it's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes away, great restaurants, shops, Burlingame Avenue, obviously San Carlos is nearby, just great atmosphere, great vibe, and we're always at the restaurants meeting friends and having fun. Parks as well for kids. My kids have grown up around here, so there was a Mothers Club that we always used to belong to. We've made a lot of friends through the school, the Mothers Club, and the great parks. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else because of those friendships.
I love that. Now, if there's something that you could change in San Mateo County, or something that you just don't like, anything that comes to the top of your mind?
Well, I just quickly thought of that, the house prices, maybe, but that's what you get. You know, the house prices are high because it's a very desirable area, and it's why we don't leave. My husband and I, you know, we might complain, but we don't leave because we love the area, we love the schools, love the weather, and this is home for us.
Awesome, Emma. Anything else you'd like to add?
You're the best realtor in the world.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about what people love about San Mateo County and what they might consider changing. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I chat with nice people like you every week who are thinking about buying in San Mateo County, and I'd love to help you figure out if this might be an option for you. I'll see you on the next video.